Are you tired of sending your resumes and not getting a call back? Hang on in here. We will discuss how to start your career with a major hotel company in the world. And how do I know this? Because I'm a hotel manager. Welcome to Hospitality Learning Online. Today we're discussing how to start your career with largest hospitality company in the world, Marriott Hotels and Resorts. First step for starting your career is applying. And I know you're going to say, what is the big deal? Fill out an application or just send your resume. However, you will be surprised at the amount of errors that occurs actually at this stage. Before we jump into the details of applying and everything that comes with it, let's speak about two ways that you can apply. First one, if you're a recent graduate or you're currently studying in a college for hospitality management. And the second, if you have no experience or you have some related experience but you're not recently from the college and you're just looking to starting or applying for a hospitality job. If you're a recent graduate or you're currently studying in the college or university and you have some related major to hospitality management or tourism, is applying for an internship. You can do so by going to university.marriott.com. The great benefit about applying for an internship is that your future employer knows you have no experience, it is an internship. The internship typically will run from 8 weeks to about 12 months. And the beautiful part about it is that you're going to be rotated within all the departments of the hotel. You're going to see the good, the bad, and everything you like and you dislike. And yet then you can make a strong decision what exactly department you would like to go next. Where is your strength? Where is your weakness? And it's way much more easier to land a job after internship. And sometimes you can land a job with the same property where you just completed your internship. If you're not applying for an internship and looking just to apply for a job, you can do so by going to careers.marriott.com or via any other major recruitment website such as Indeed, career.com, Career Builder. One thing that I would like to note is super important to know is that not all hotels are managed by Marriott Corporation. Now, what does this mean for you? A lot of people will ask me, well, I'm keeping an eye, this property is really close to me and I would like to work there, but nothing is really coming up and I can't find a property at Marriott website or I can't find a position available. Well, the reason, because the hotel is not managed by Marriott Hotels. So to do so, you need to find the management company. And if you cannot find a management company that manages that property, you can go to any other recruitment websites, the major Career Builder, Indeed, whichever you would like to, and constantly check for open positions there. But you also typically can Google and find out who manages that company, and you will always see the career job or career post board posted somewhere on the management company's website. So just keep an eye, do your research. Don't think that if position is not becoming online and you turned on your notifications, but something that you're waiting is not there, it doesn't mean that you're in the right spot. Now, when we clarified how you can apply, let's start with most important, your resume. This one-page document is going to tell hiring manager or HR to give you a call or not to give you a call. So it's super important. I cannot tell you how to put together a good resume. It's not purpose of this video. It will take too much time and that's not something that the subject of this video to really discuss. But if that's something you want me to do, comment below and I would be happy to. Let's go over a few general rules that are very important for your resume, especially in the hospitality industry. No generic resumes. This is super important. What do I mean when I say no generic resumes? For example, if Mark Smith submitted a resume for a cook position and on the resume is not listed that he was a cook anywhere and all the recent and relevant experiences in the retail, that's all I get to see. But very possible that Mark Smith also has a part-time cook job, or maybe food is a passion and he has been cooking all his life and he wants to be a cook and he has great qualifications. Remember, What I see is in a resume is only what you're allowing your HR and your recruiter manager to see. That's the only information is provided. It is super important that that information is relevant to the current position you're applying to. Because if you're not, nobody's going to do a research. Nobody's going, oh, let me see if maybe this person, it's not. You only have a 15 seconds to make an impression. You have a 15 seconds to tell your story. And that story is your resume. Have you applied for a hotel job recently? If so, comment below with the title and position you applied to. I'm so curious to see. Reliability, very important factor. How many recent employers you had? How many times you change your job? How often you are moving from place to place? This all very important. When you start in a hotel, you typically get a minimum of 2-week training. Minimum. Sometimes it's 3 and 4. Imagine somebody is going to train you for 2 weeks. You're not going really to contribute to the hotel or to the operations because you don't know. It's okay, you don't know, you're in a training. And then 2 months later, you're going to leave. What it does? Nothing good, I can promise you. That's why when HR professionals and hiring managers are going through the resumes, they're looking at the amount of the job you spent with your past employers. It tells them how reliable you are. No fake resumes. Why? Because you can't really defend them. During the interview, you get nervous, you're messing up the dates, the companies, what did you do, who was your manager, and it automatically disqualifies you. It shows you're not being truthful. And honestly, I know you're going to say it's so hard to start if I don't have an experience. Be truthful. Instead of speaking about I, speak about what I can do to deliver and how I can benefit the company. Even if you don't have an experience and you ended up with that interview, speak about that, but don't fake your resume. If you fake your resumes and you ended up in an interview and you're going to completely mess up an interview, you're not going to be chosen for the work. In fact, your resume will be marked in the system, so any future opportunities will be just jeopardized by that experience. How many times you printed your resume, you looked at it, it's perfect, and then 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, next day, you looked at it and you found, oh, I'm missing a sentence, I'm missing a word, there is a misspell in it. It's very important. The reason because you're not seeing your errors on your resume because you looked at it document 1,000 times. My advice, give it to somebody else. Give it to your friend, give it to a colleague, give it to a stranger on the street. Let them read your resume before you're going to submit it. It's very important. It shows a lot. If you're submitting a resume with errors, it's automatically, it's not good. The second step in starting your career with the hotels is application. The most common error that happens with the application is that we just don't fill it out. Or we start filling it out, get annoyed, and we just click on the skip. Well, I gave you my resume, it has all the information. What else you need from me? Well, resume doesn't have all the information that is needed. Application is going to ask you questions like, the reason you left your recent job, what is your desired compensation, what is the availability? All those things are important for the employer, especially for the hospitality recruiter, because the first thing that we're looking at the application is your availability. And we'll chat about it this little bit in a detail later. The next step is hiring assessment. You might see that when you're applying for a different job, some companies might, after submitting an application, they might take you to the hiring assessment. And this is some kind of a psychological test that you need to fill it out that will tell your future employer information about you. My best advice here is be you. Trust me. I did try to think through the questions and be like what they're trying to figure out and try to be smart with the answers. It all doesn't make sense. The harder you try, the lower your result is. Just be you. Just respond in a timely manner to the questions it's asking you, and it will be all good. Number 4, location. Now you're going to ask, how come location is related? Well, it does. Trust me, from the personal experience, when I was a manager in Los Angeles and I have open positions, I would have about 200 to 300 applicants on one open position. And then I would go for a task force, and like in Florida, one of the distant resorts, I would have an open position for 2 to 3 months, and I would get only 2 or 3 candidates for one position. So now this is something for you to consider, and I know you this is not an easy step to do, right? Depending on where you live or where you can afford to travel. But if it's something that you truly, truly want to start in hospitality and just to get your foot to the door, starting and looking into distant locations and isolated resorts would be much more easier, because the pool applicant over there is not so high. It's very, very tough to recruit, so you have way bigger chances than you will be in New York, in Chicago downtown. It's something to consider. Apply to the job that you're applying to. You need to have a relevant experience. Even if it's not a big deal, even if it's not in the hotel, but you have to be able to relate to the job that you're applying to. I know a lot of people will tell me, and a lot of people did tell me, well, I just try my luck. I just send a resume one after one after one and see what happens. Maybe I get lucky. Well, it doesn't work like that. And there's a lot of danger associated with just sending your resumes. Truly, when you send your resume, you can say, oh, I'm just sending a resume and see what happens. It's not. Every time you click on that enter and send button, you have hopes. You have expectations. You're waiting to get that phone call. You're waiting for somebody to call you. And one after another one, you keep sending those resumes and applications to places that you really don't apply to, and nothing happens. You're not getting a phone calls. You're not getting any response back. What happens then? Demotivation. You're getting demotivated. This is impacting you in a negative way. You don't feel it, but your energy goes down. And it's really dangerous, honestly. It doesn't lead to anything good. And I'd rather you take this energy that you have and concentrate in something good, something meaningful that can take you to there where you need and help you achieve your career goal, rather just keep sending 100 resumes to the places that you don't really apply to. Number 6, you're overqualified. Let's say you're a manager, you're sending a super fancy resume with all these jobs and titles you had, and you're applying for a shuttle van driver. What do you think hiring manager is thinking? Oh my God, what happened? Did he get fired? Did she get fired? Is there any issue? Is this person is just looking to get this job and leave me after 2 weeks? He gets another offer for a higher position. Do not apply for the jobs that you're overqualified to unless you can explain why. So nothing wrong if you have a full-time job right now and you just on the weekends would like to drive a shuttle van and make extra cash. That's totally fine. You don't have to apply for the manager position only if you're currently a manager. But you need to be able to communicate that on your resume. So on the top line on the resume, you can put actually communicating that information and say, seeking part-time position, only 8 hours a week to blah, 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 whatever it is there. But that way you will not disqualify your resume from the general pool. Availability. The single strongest point, the one place where everybody is looking at when they're pulling your application. Why? Because hotel is at 365 days, 24/7. We never close the doors. We never shut our hotels. We always open no matter what conditions. Hotels are always operating. And if you're not able to cover the shift, who is going to cover your shift? I'm not saying it's impossible. I do have associates in my current hotel, and I always had limited availability due to the school, and I honestly love to accommodate that. But if you're just looking into starting, that's something could be that will turn off your potential employer from giving you a call. Out-of-country candidates. I cannot tell you how often I get out-of-country candidates, even on the job that I clearly say must have authorization to work in United States. Now, when you're applying for those positions, you're automatically not qualified to. Your potential employers tells you, I cannot hire you. If you keep sending your resumes, you will not get a job. What you need to do instead is to apply via proper channels if that's something you would like to do. Now, this video is not about international hiring, but if that's something you're interested to, I can absolutely list several sponsorship companies that will find you a job placement and will actually accommodate you and will help you to get a job in international, whether it's United States, whether Europe or anywhere else. But when you're sending a resume to and your hiring manager or HR is looking at out-of-country candidates, the first thing they're thinking, is the cost, the visa, documents, embassy. Are they going to get a visa? Are they not going to get a visa? Are they going to be able to be here? I can't see them. They will arrive in 2 months. I need somebody right now. Happens a lot with especially those management candidate positions. Again, there are proper sponsorship companies that you can apply and they will arrange everything for you. So again, if you would like to see this, just drop a comment below. I would be happy to share that information with you. Thank you for watching. For more videos like this, click on the subscribe button that you're seeing on your screen and turn on bell notifications to get notified anytime I post the videos. If there's something else you would like to see, please feel free to comment below and I'll be happy to answer all questions.